Chat. In the MAGA wing of the Republican Party, there are 3 people right now who I consider to be very prominent, with very good things to say, and with at least some level of trust and confidence. They are Trump, Vivek, and Kari Lake. Now, Vivek, as we've said, suspicions there may be something more going on there. A little bit too quick, a little bit too silver-tongued, but still, he's saying very good things, and I suspect that there is at least competency behind those words to some extent, and with some confidence in his ability. I think VP is the right place for him. He can be there and do some things and prove his worth in the field without it being potentially dangerous if we pick the wrong guy. Kari Lake, similarly, I have less reason not to trust her. She has shown great tenacity in real, in situations where she could have easily given up, but she didn't. And she's actually a pretty good speaker. She was already either an anchor woman or a weather woman or something like that in Arizona. And she, in 2022, should have won in Arizona, but there is plenty of reason to believe that election was rigged beyond the margin of victory. That was the one, in case you don't remember, where the election machines in the Republican areas just sort of broke. They sort of all broke on the same day. They sort of all malfunctioned. Really beckoning for paper ballots because they don't fucking break. But the machines didn't break. I believe that it was deliberate. Some Republican voters were waiting in line for 7, 8, 9 hours to try and vote, and a lot of people just had to go because they were going to vote before they went to work. Also, Kari Lake's opponent, there are strong indications that she has actually cooperated with Mexican cartels in order to rig the election. Now, it sounds crazy, but we looked into that at the time. There was some reason to believe that. And the person in charge of running the election in Arizona, you'll love this, the person in charge of running the election in Arizona donated to a PAC which supported Kari Lake's opponent. So yeah, it was incredibly suspicious. And it's that kind of shit that makes me think that the election rigging is not just on the federal scale in 2020, that it's probably everywhere to some extent or another. So Kari Lake is almost certainly the rightful governor of Arizona, and she was cheated out of it. Now, she's been fighting the legal battles to try and get that recognized, but I think it's probably a lost cause. The courts there might be just as biased as everyone else involved in helping to organize that steal. So that's probably not going to happen. But there's some hope on the horizon for Kari Lake, and she's certainly a major figure, well liked. There's the possibility that she could be VP. Although I'd be happy, it's serendipitous. I'd be happy with either her or Vivek as VP. And there's also the possibility that she will go into the Senate, which I think is what she's currently pursuing. Yes, Matthias, I think she was involved in running the election. Kari Lake's opponent was, and she was awful as well. Like, she looked like an awful person, personally speaking. She barely campaigned either, so I think she knew it was rigged in her favor. Katie Hobbs, I think her name was. Yeah, it was incredibly crooked, Wilson. It was, there was less evidence of election fraud, but it might have been more simplistically crooked than the 2020 federal election. Trump Paul would be all right, but they have the Ron or Rand Paul have never really been that sort of closely attached to Trump. Obviously, I think they're natural allies, and maybe that would be good, but I don't think it's likely. I think it'll be probably Vivek, maybe Kari Lake. But Kari Lake is moving towards the Senate now, so it might not be her. So, with all that explained as to who Kari Lake is, there's this audio that suddenly surfaced, and we're going to listen to it now. The story, but the thumbnail that I used, title I used for today's stream, is I think a great introduction to this, and you'll probably recognize where the quote is from. Some of you, if you do, type in chat which franchise the quote is from. A chance for Kari Lake, daughter of Arizona, to demonstrate her quality.
Is there a number at which
I can be bought?
not be bought?
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
No. 10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would even, that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me. So what's going on? What is? I'm assuming this is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
Oh no, they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way. So this conversation never happened.
This is crazy though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened. Don't go. Do you ever though? I'll get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
Not either.
So I'll pause to try and commentate here a bit. The guy on the right here, he's not a nobody. Jeff DeWitt, Arizona Republican Party chair. So he's essentially in charge of the Republican Party in Arizona. And he is relaying enthusiastically an offer for Kari Lake to just fuck off for a couple of years out of politics. A bribe to make her go away. And she said no. Very, very based. Now, consider as you like that this audio may have been manufactured to make Kari Lake look better, but it makes the chair here, DeWitt, look a lot worse, so he had to be sacrificed, essentially, for that to happen. So I suspect not. I suspect this is genuine. This is probably the kind of thing, chat, that's been going on for decades, but we just never saw it before. I suspect, given the audio quality on the mic, that Kari Lake was secretly recording this conversation. In which case, I would just like to repeat the word based for a straight 5 minutes here. He just relayed an offer for her to leave politics for a few years and said, name your price. And she said, not for $1 billion. She said, no, it's about our country. They are corrupt. The people offering this are corrupt. Now, tell me that isn't refreshing to hear that. This is someone, Kari Lake, someone who I've been saying is a good sort of entry into the MAGA wing. She's prominent in MAGA, she's very popular, very well liked.
It's a woman, though. I can't trust it.
But there's more of this recording as well. Let me be very, very clear as well here, chat. The guy talking here, who's relaying this bribe, he does not get off the hook. By relaying this, especially by asking multiple times, he has demonstrated that that is what he wants. Or that he is owned by someone else and doing their bidding. Now, if he's only fired, I'll be disappointed. It needs to go further than that. He needs to be convicted and put to prison for the rest of his life. For something like this, where it's clearly a case of political corruption. Nah. Put him away.
I mean, though, it is easy to say that as, like, you know, if it's not actually being offered. Like, I'm sure I don't know how much I believe if she wasn't offered like a certain sum of money, she'd deny it. Like, I
Well,
don't know.
he essentially just said, name your price.
Yeah, but did he offer what when she did name the price? Did he actually,
She said,
go for that?
not for 10 million, not for 20 million, not for 30 million, not for $1 billion. She said, no, it's about our country.
Okay.
So
I see.
if he was like, I have 10 billion for you right here, leave your, I still think she would say no.
Maybe.
I like this restores a lot of my confidence in the current movement, the current democratic resurgent movement in the Western world. Because I have been making the argument that what you need is people in power with the will to do the right thing. I think it's actually not that weird to have people entering politics who want to do the right thing. It's only been weird for the last few decades. But that it should be normal and that it can be normal and that a lot of people, a really large portion of the public, if they entered into politics, would just want to do the right thing. And especially the new MAGA people, because the people who are the potential voters have learned so much about the deception methods of our opponents that instinctively we can recognize it in potential candidates now. Now, I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's not doing too badly so far, I don't think. I like the current crop of MAGA Republicans. And this is very white-pilling news. Now, what I said is that the only thing I could think of that could be, oh, Uzalu, you silly man, this is obviously this psyop. The only thing I could think of is that they're burning his reputation in order to bolster hers. But that's a lot to burn for quite a relatively small improvement, when she's not even running right now for anything. I think she may be running for Senate, but I don't know if that's currently happening. So I don't think so. I can't see how this could be a psyop. But chat, please tell me if I've missed something. I suppose so, Matthias. Matthias, it's easy to say no to $1 billion when you don't believe they would actually offer it. Fair, but I think she probably had reason to believe that he would be willing to offer a large amount of money, probably in the millions, for her to just leave for 2 years. I mean, he was clearly offering it there. So that's still very good. It certainly sounded like it. You weren't here for the audio.
That is true. Yeah.
It certainly sounded like it. It was very direct. So 1 minute 46. I'll play again from the beginning, in case any of you missed it, because this is the main story for a reason today. This is big news. This is a new paradigm in the culture war. Evidence of direct corruption, bribery of politicians. Evidence directly of it.
10 million, 20 million, 30, no. $1 billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now, for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me. So what's going on? I'm assuming this is our friend.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
Oh no, they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way.
That right there, that puts him in jail for the rest of his life, in my opinion.
The way he said that was so fucking slimy.
Yes, it was.
The tone of voice he had on that was very fucking like, oh, there's powerful people,
I expect he would get a cut.
Powerful people.
I expect he would get a cut. I expect this is one of those many people who entered politics to get paid.
Yeah, she should have fucking stood up and walked out at that point.
Maybe, but I think she knew the recording was happening because it sounds like she's doing the recording, given how close her voice sounds. If so, extremely fucking based. Because if she can be this good as a politician and this good as an investigative journalist, holy, Calidrius, the only reason I disagree with death on that is a false accusation could very easily be used to destroy a political opponent. At least with imprisonment, it can be taken back. However, would I think that, morally speaking, if I could be absolutely sure that it would be done truthfully, and we could be absolutely sure that it was accurate information and that we'd never find that it was wrong and that the right people will be making the decision so that it will be completely truthful, I probably wouldn't be against it. Morally speaking, not really against death for political corruption. Practically speaking, yeah, no capital punishment. It's just too much power to give the state. But I understand the sentiment, absolutely understand the sentiment. Dave Robb says, I think he fears for his life. He better do now. He better fear for his life now. There's more to this recording as well. We're only a fifth of the way in, or like a third, maybe a fourth.
So, this conversation never happened.
Yeah, and that gets him the rest of the time in prison, right there. He's just making it. It's on the screen. He says, so this conversation never happened. Yeah, put him the fuck away.
This is crazy, though. They should want me. I'm a great candidate. People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are corrupt.
Maybe. This never happened.
Bear in mind, this is not just someone that she can walk away from. This guy is in charge of the Republican Party in her state. So to some extent, she would need this guy on her side, which is why she's still trying to convince him. But I suspect, as I said, she is recording this, so she is going to stay there as long as she can to get more incriminating information.
Did you hear how it's the way he says, like, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe they are evil. Maybe
any jury.
He's full on he's literally advocating for the demons right now. It's like, come on, I'll give you a lot of money, man.
Would find him guilty of political corruption here.
Disgusting.
You never know. I'll get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
Not either. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They say the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Forget the who. Let me just tell you the what.
Forget the who, yeah, because they're your bosses.
Forget the who, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Of course he wouldn't. The thing is, he's smart enough not to be fucking saying the names because he doesn't want to die.
Yeah, of course.
Probably.
I'd be very curious who it really is, though.
It starts with J.
Joe Biden?
Yeah, listen. You take it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
I just say there are people calling around.
He's tried twice now. He's going to try a third time.
Saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it. Because then we lose our ability to get things done in the future.
And he keeps saying, don't tell people about it. Don't tell people about it. Please don't tell people I said this. And then she tells everyone. Based.
Yeah, it's just the way he's speaking, but then he's obviously like, we have to hide what we're actually thinking. This is what I mean. Like, we're going to hide what we're actually doing so we can actually fix stuff from within. But it's like, you're just so corrupt. But then if you're dealing with these psychos that will just assassinate over 50 people that are close to you, not naming any names, but you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nah, what Kari Lake is doing here is completely right. And I suspect it was her that had this audio. Like, there's no way anyone else was in that room, let's face it. So it was just them, and she must have had some hidden mic on her person, which means that she knew something like this was going to happen. She came prepared. She had the recording, and then she released it.
But she fully said, like, oh, they're going to kill me, right? So, like, maybe she's just carrying a fucking thing on her at all times. So
that's what I was just thinking. Yeah, maybe she has a recording device on her all the time. It would be a smart move. Very smart to do that. And with the size of SD cards these days, absolutely, you could do that.
I think you have no choice but to do that now in politics. Yeah. It's so fucking corrupt.
It fucking
that's how
paid
bad
off.
It is.
It paid off here.
Mm-hmm. Here's my problem. Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know, it's about ownership.
It is about ownership. That's that's what the money is for, mate.
Control.
I don't know it's about control.
What do you mean?
About being on the team, I guess.
It's about being on the table, you know?
Throw away the fucking key. Put this guy in a deep dark hole and throw away the key.
It's like you either capitulate to them or you're not getting anywhere, you know? Like we could give you a lot of money if you just, you know, not continue. And if you're going to continue, then I mean, like, you better hide what you're actually doing so that they keep you on the table, and, like, you know, you hide who you are from them, and, you know, befriend them. And just get involved and then incriminate yourself further so that they can control you like they control me.
That absolutely could happen. Yeah, I mean, it would probably be more beneficial for them to ruin her by publicizing that she took a bribe than to actually just let her take the bribe. Yeah, no, absolutely. She's done absolutely the right thing here. Chat, again, press
He's
one.
Just so slimy.
Press one to throw away the key.
You know what I mean?
They want to be on the team.
They want you to be on their team.
But
Just team. You know?
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
They want you to stay out for 2 years. But I'll tell you what I can offer you. But I said you can do whatever she wants. Talking head, isn't it? So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was,
back east.
Where are they right now?
Arizona, probably, but they might not be in Arizona. And back east refers to Arizona. Back east would be towards DC. It's fucking DC. It is. Holy
Jays,
shit,
man. The C's.
There might be Jays involved, but it doesn't have to be exclusively Jays. it's
the C's
corrupt
are
politicians,
too.
and it's corrupt DC politicians. The RNC, yeah, it is the vestiges of corruption still left in the Republican Party. Yeah, I'm almost certain it's DC. Like, it's so disgusting hearing this cancerous creature say this, but it's so refreshing that Kari Lake is saying no and then publishing the recording. That is so based. I can't even express how based that is.
Oh, she needs to watch it, man. Just another suicide on the way.
Yeah, well, now that she's done this, it's people will know if she gets suicided what it was about.
That is true.
Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and to keep her out? And I said, well, what do you want them to do? Like, whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump.
I'm not sure about DeSantis being America first or not. It's still a bit debatable. I can't help but see what he did in Florida as him buying himself a ticket to the White House. Ill-advised attempt, but that all of it was a show. We will very much see what happens next when he goes back to Florida. If we see a rapid downtick of based stories about him, then we'll know. But he is at least willing to play for America first, even if he doesn't really believe it. But anyway, let's continue.
And I don't think that's good for our country.
And you know I love Trump. I love Trump.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not. But at the same time, I'm not even sure Trump can win again. I don't know that he can win. I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about like control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win. You know, if you really want to know, all of politics.
Money, you say.
The MAGA people
raise money.
Yeah, they don't really seem to have had much of a problem getting donations. Like, Trump is incredibly popular, the most popular president in history, and they're saying, we're just not quite sure Trump can bring in, the money anymore.
It's not even that. It's just so corrupt. Like, look what they did in Canada, right, with the trucker protests, and how they literally seized bank accounts and, like, from people who were donating, right? Like, it's obviously it's not that bad right now in America, or like I would hope not. But I think the more and more cash dies out and they expect them to be using like digital ways to give money, it's so easy to just like cut that shit so they don't have the money and resources to actually get anywhere.
Maybe, yeah. I don't think that's what they're talking about here, but that is certainly a risk for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And even on their end, like, what makes them the most money?
I know all these consultants don't want their payday to end, and I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not. If they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting him do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
Now, I will say. Wait, what?
He said or, like he was about to say and give another option.
Yeah, it's on the screen
Or
right
like,
now.
yeah.
But the one thing I will say about this, which is a slight mitigation of all the praise I've been giving Kari Lake, but I think only a slight mitigation, is that she knew she was being recorded here. I'm almost certain that she has the recorder on her person. She knew she was being recorded here, and so everything she was saying, she wanted to make sure it looked good. So she was basically doing a rally here. However, do I think that it would have been any different if she weren't being recorded? Probably not, no. I think this is the real her. From everything I've seen, I think this is the real her. Now, another possibility actually is that Kari Lake knew this was happening. It is genuine corruption, but she recorded this cynically to try and get rid of this guy so that she could get more power and more recognition. If so, fine, you have it. What you've done here is heroic. You can have it. Even if you're cynically pursuing popularity, you've earned it. Have it. Let's continue listening.
Either way, this guy did not sound like he's sounding evil.
Oh yeah, he's evil.
Or not just evil, just corrupt, right?
Yes.
Like he's oh God, I just hate these cockroaches so much.
Yep.
I just hate them.
Yep.
You don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
And refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now. The battle is right now, and we don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
Just take the money and get out. That's what he's saying.
I love how, like, Jeff here kind of sounds like, a dark triad, maybe. He's somewhere in there, like a manipulator, psychopath, maybe. I love the impression. I'm not sure it's quite true, but I love the idea here that I've just had that Kari Lake is just autistically like, what do you mean stop? No, we have to fight. We have to win. What do you mean money to go away? No, that doesn't make any sense. We have to fight. We have to win the battle. Like, no, logically speaking, we have to like proper autism mode, but that's what we need. That's correct.
Yeah, she's like, literally saying like, no, this is a hill to die on. And he's like, or you could take the money and just like, not continue. It's like, bruh, you are on two different wavelengths right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love how it was so clear that he wasn't going to get through to her, but there's now recordings of him trying to answer the question essentially 3 times, maybe 4, depending on how you measure it. And it's like, mate, what were you promised to make this happen? What were you promised to make this happen?
Oh, probably a lot of money.
Probably a lot of money. So he's going to keep trying it. Keep trying that upsell.
You can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching club. You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. I've been on the outs with a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. Where are we in 2 years if they steal the election again?
Listen to what you're saying. Why don't we do something about it so that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
So based. What he's saying there is fatalism, that corruption is eternal. I disagree. So does Kari Lake. Support this woman. Kaiser says, if someone offered me $1 billion, I'd take it and donate a lot to Trump. Like, there's nothing stopping her if she takes the bribe. Like, the reason that you would, if you're going into politics and you take a bribe, the reason that you would not just immediately renege on the bribe is that, 1, you might get straight up assassinated. 2, they probably have some incriminating blackmail material on you to reveal to the public, although you can demonstrate through your actions that you never intended to do that. So that's sort of on either side. But then the real reason not to renege on the bribe is because you want more of them. If Kari Lake drove up the price to like 50 million, which is probably about as high as they'd be willing to go, and then reneged on it, that's the last bribe she needs to take. Like, renege on it and then just give the lot to the MAGA campaign. That would be quite a significant contribution to the MAGA campaign, especially for free. Now, she probably would be under the spotlight for that one. She probably would, like, she would suffer in the press. The press would run into the ground for it. MAGA would know, most likely, what really happened. They would know, because there would be recordings, and the fact that she gave them money and that she was maybe dropped the story first. But still, it would be very risky, but it would be kind of funny. And she wouldn't need to worry about giving it away and reneging on it because she doesn't need to go for it again. But still, it's better that she did this. This is way better. Yes, Zen Man, they actually used that. Like, all these, like, all this pop culture, these movies and TV shows you've ever seen about how politicians are corrupt, how corrupt politicians act. This is real. A very, very rare glimpse into a very, very rare glimpse into the direct, from mouth to ear, direct political corruption in the US. And it's exactly the stereotype, pretty much. This sort of thing has been probably happening for decades all across the Western world and just has never been released because there's never been someone who got popular enough who was willing to do what Kari Lake has done here. Extremely courageous. This is almost more courageous than anything Trump has done. This is incredible. I can scarcely believe she was this brave. Frankly, I can scarcely believe they tried to offer this to her. It's a really stupid thing to do.
I'm surprised she's still alive at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, usually they don't let stuff like this get out.
Yeah. Feels as taking, giving bribes is illegal, accepting the bribe in itself is incriminating. I know. I was talking in pure power politics terms. Obviously, it would have problems and probably would backfire. Matthias says we knew when this meeting was. The tweet about it was recent. This story is 3 hours ago. I don't know when it actually happened. The original recording, I'm not sure where it happened. God, he even looks evil. He was the chief operating officer for Trump's 2016 and 2020 campaign. See, a lot of people criticize mistakes Trump made, but he had advisors around him like this guy. So it's hard to blame him. He didn't know the environment very well. He knows it a lot better now. It doesn't say here when the conversation happened, actually, but it was after the 2020 election. We know that much because they referenced it. So it's recent enough to be relevant.
I mean, I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
No, I know.
You don't have to tell.
I'm taken aback by the degree of basedness. I am actually surprised that she is that based.
And if she dies, we know what happened.
Yeah. So,
okay.
There's a tweet about it here, which says, breaking, Arizona Republican Party chief Jeff DeWitt caught on secret recording trying to bribe Kari Lake not to run for Senate. There are very powerful people out there who want you out, and then all this is just quotes from the thing. Let's get some more details. This is from the Mail, Daily Mail. Kari Lake demands resignation of Arizona Republican Party chair who offered her a bribe not to run. I have to stop myself, chat, Fed posting right now, because this is serious. Like, we have an example of it happening. I have to stop myself not Fed posting. Throw away the key. Kari Lake on Tuesday demanded, this is why I have die here, demanded the resignation of Arizona Republican Party chief Jeff DeWitt after DailyMail.com published audio, Daily Mail published it, good for them, of the moment last year, there you go, there's a date, when he appeared to try to bribe her not to run for the US Senate. In it, he can be heard explaining that powerful people would offer her a job or money if she sits out of politics for 2 years. If you've ever seen any politician who suddenly gets onto the board of a major corporation, they are corrupt. 99.9% chance. What was it? Was it Nikki Haley? Was she board of Boeing? Oh, that's weird. Throw away the key. but I want to cover, this is such a big story as well. I want to cover both of them. Wig says just two things. One, this guy is an idiot and should have known she was a former investigative reporter. Absolutely, but I'm glad he fucking didn't. And two, this means the bugs are scared because she's doing too well. Absolutely. They've been scared for years. They have been. And just more and more evidence of it. This is so white-pilling, chat. This whole thing. So white-pilling. You know that's what I like to do, chat. I could sit here and blackpill you. I could sit here doom and gloom, tell you about all the people Muslims have killed this week, all the thousands and millions streaming across the board. I could
have a lot of people doing that though.
All this violence, I could report on it. I could report on all the black gangs that do horrible things, all the crime. I try to make it a bit more energizing, a bit more positive. I don't ignore that stuff. I'll reference it, but I try to focus on the good things, the things to inspire, because I think that's more important for helping. Today is a good day for that.
I also enjoy.
As she arrived at Donald Trump's campaign party in Nashua, New Hampshire on Tuesday evening, she told DailyMail.com that the American people had had enough. Quote, "The people are rising up and saying, no, we want our country back," she says. If the Republican guy, Jeff DeWitt, if he faces consequences for this, then she has my complete trust. If he doesn't, then she still has more than she did before. Not 100%, but very nearly. The people, we want our government back, and we will no longer put up with one more ounce of corruption. And the truth is all coming out now. So based. There's audio. Actually, the audio is even longer than what we already heard.
So what's going on? What is, I'm assuming this is our friend.
The recording that we heard earlier, I think it was out of order.
Oh, okay. This might give better context then.
This is back east. There are very powerful people that want to keep you out.
I know they do.
But they're willing to put their money where their mouth is in a big way.
Oh yeah, there it is.
This conversation never happened.
This is crazy though. They should want me.
This conversation never happened.
People love me. These people are corrupt.
Well, maybe you're right.
They are right. They are correct.
Maybe you're right.
If you're right, don't go. Do you ever though? I'll get myself in trouble. This, if you say no, which is fine, it's your choice. Don't tell people.
They're gonna try to have me murdered.
Not either. Today's world, man. If that stuff that came out last week is right about the cartel stuff, man. They say the cartel's operating in 50 states right now, like all 50. You know? So
what's going on? Who is it? What?
Cartels, huh?
Yeah, I don't believe he believes any of this shit. I suspect
it's easy to put the blame on the cartels.
I suspect he doesn't care about any of this politics stuff. I suspect he's just in there for the money. In there for playing the game. And if he did care once, he's lost that now.
Let's just say there are people calling around saying, gosh, no, they can't repeat this. Never repeat this. If you say no, don't. If you say, I got offered to buy out. Don't use it.
Oh, whoops, she did. She did tell the world. Oh, no.
Yeah,
please don't tell them.
Can you go and tell anyone about the fact that I'm trying to bribe you right now, please? That would be really unfortunate for me if you
I'll tell you what, though. That's
told anyone.
Yeah, exactly. But that, as we said earlier, it's wise for her to always be mic'd up. But more so than that, every politician should always be mic'd up. Chat, this is actually a great idea. Like, there are some cases where they may need to discuss something that's relevant to their campaign strategy or relevant to even national strategy once they become a politician. But here's how about if by convention the people insist that for almost 24/7, if you want to be a major political candidate, you have to provide a 24/7 audio feed. Now, there's obviously exceptions there. Like if you go into the toilet, if you can cut out 5 to 10 minutes, but you can only cut out 5 to 10 minutes. And it's all by convention. No one's forced to do this. But if you want to be trusted, you have to provide at least some ready feed of information. You have to account for where you are at all times. Like police wearing body cameras. Exactly. It's exactly like that.
It would make sense for a politician with all of this power that they get. Why wouldn't they? And then if it's this corrupt, it's just Like, why
yeah.
wouldn't you at that point?
Making more information available to the people can't hurt, and in fact might do a lot of good. As Kaiserholt says, there's all kinds of ways that you could still slip something past the recording. Even if it was a camera, you could slip a note that the camera can't see. Absolutely.
It still would be better than what we have.
But it would be so much better, so much more difficult to be corrupt if you're doing that, if you have that. Oda says immediate removal from office if a politician is found to have concealed who donated to them. There's all kinds of things you could implement like that, yeah. I think the US is far too fucking cavalier about funding politicians. It's considered what you in the US would consider, undesirable but still part of the system and normal would here be considered dirty. Maybe even illegal.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff in England that's illegal that a lot of Americans would disagree with.
True, but this is one where maybe they would go the other way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Rather than just say, let's work with her, she's a great candidate. Because they don't own me. And it pisses me off.
Yeah, I don't know, it's about ownership.
It's about control.
I don't know it's about control. It's about being on the team. I guess that's, you know what I mean?
So control.
Yeah.
They want you to be on their team.
This is the weird thing about this is it's so stereotypical. It's exactly what you've seen in movies and TV shows. It's so stereotypical. It's so obvious. In fact, if you were to put this on a TV show or a movie, you'd probably get people saying that's a bit too obvious. That's a bit too bland and simplistic. You don't think it's really like that? Come on, it's way more complex than that in practice. Have a bit of flair in your writing. But here it is.
But if they're pushing a globalist agenda, I can't do that. So what do they want? What do they want me to do?
You want me to stay opportunists. What? I'll tell you what I can offer you. But I said you can do whatever you want. It's talking head, this and that. So the ask of me was, it's kind of funny. So the ask I got today from back east was, this has to stay between us. Is there any companies out there or something that could just put her on the payroll and keep her out? And I said, well, what are you willing to do? Whatever we need to do.
This is about defeating Trump. And I think that's a bad, bad thing for our country. DeSantis is not America first. This is about the final death blow to Trump.
It is weird that she just suddenly mentioned DeSantis there. I think someone in chat said earlier, what does she know about DeSantis? What does she know that we don't? Is DeSantis the guy of these rhinos? A slight infiltration into MAGA to make him look appealing, and otherwise they run him as a rhino. There are many people that have been suspicious of that, and maybe that's the case.
It's not good for our country, Jeff.
It's not, but at the same time, I'm not even sure.
But at the same time, what?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The weird thing is he sounds like he's being careful with what he says in case she's wearing a wire, but he's still saying all this stuff.
Yeah, it's like, hey, just, keep this talk machine, it's just me and you, huh?
Using euphemisms, mate, isn't going to save you when it's this blatant.
Yeah, I think he's doing a lot of hand gestures and stuff, too, to, I get the feel that he's, doing all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But he's already said so much that it's kind of like, I think it's a bit late for all of that, right? Like, you've just blatantly said it. And then he's still being careful, though, of, not naming names, right? Just in case.
Yeah.
But I still think that for how much he's failed, whoever is employing him will still be pretty pissed off at this recording being out because of him.
Yep. He's probably sweating his balls off right now.
I think what it really comes down to for a lot of people, it's not really about control or agenda. It's just about the ability to raise money to win. If you really want to know, all of politics boils down to money. I think. I always believe that. And even on their end, what makes them the most money?
I know all these consultants don't want their payday to end. And I don't want to make a deal with these kind of people. This is a hill worth dying on. I'm not, if they're going to steal the election to make me and our movement go away, I'm not letting them do that. I owe it to the people of Arizona.
Or
to carry their torch and their voice.
Or you don't go away, but you pause.
This is the battles right now, Jeff.
Pause and refill your coffers.
No, the battle is right now.
It's just like, you can just imagine him. He's in the background, says, pause. And she says, no, the battle's right. Pause. Like, he sounds like, it sounds comical. It sounds like a joke. Or like a dirty car salesman. He sounds like a stereotype. As I said, it sounds like a caricature.
No, but this is really how they act, man.
The battle is right now, and we don't have time to pause on this battlefield.
You're not. You can't scratch their back. It's not afraid of you.
Yeah.
You don't have anything to offer them. And they're sitting around people that have stuff to offer them. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a back scratching club. That's all DC is. It's a big back scratching.
She's taking the bribe in the form of biscuits.
Well, you just mentioned DC, didn't it? He as well.
I think so. Yeah.
So
I love how she's just sitting there, just eating.
DC.
She's probably reclined, like legs crossed, just eating his free biscuits that he put there to try and like, oh, there's biscuits and there's more where those came from.
You're in no position to scratch anybody's back, and you've already made it known that if you get there, you're not going to scratch anybody's back. I don't scratch people's back. You know, I've been on the outs with a lot of people for a long time because I don't scratch backs. You know? Where are we in 2 years?
Yeah, I don't really believe you on that, mate.
If they steal the election again.
Listen to what you're
I love it. Again, like, corrupt unipartyist Rhino knows they stole the election. He knows. I strongly suspect pretty much every politician in the US, at least every elected one, at least everyone in a position of power, knows the election was stolen, even if they don't say it publicly. The very few who do say it publicly, they are the good ones. Kari Lake is among them. She's not, in that position, but she bloody should have been.
Why don't we do something about it? So that we the people can pick our...
What can we do?
I'm not willing to accept that. And I'm going to be the biggest pain in these people's... Go back and tell them that. I'm running, and I'm going to be the biggest pain in their...
I'm willing to tell them that.
And they're going to have to kill me to stop me.
So based.
Look.
You don't have to tell them that, but I don't think they will, but...
I don't think that's the way they are.
Either they come around and try to work with me, or I'm just going to...
entail?
That would entail not
telling...
layman's telling me, you got to distance yourself from Trump. I know, you distance yourself from DeSantis.
He's all butthurt about that.
But what I'm saying is, don't tell people that.
Layman? The spelling there was Laman. Do we know who that is? Probably a DC Republican. Republican layman. Nothing for that name. There's like Lehman Brothers, which is a bank. I don't think that's what they mean. I'm not seeing anything about that. Maybe it's mentioned in there somewhere, but that could be one of the who's that he just mentioned. Someone that's controlling the things from behind the scenes.
I'm with Trump, okay? I want to work for the betterment of Arizona. I'm not going to let these people back in DC tell me not to run. I'm not going to pause for 2 years. The battle is now. I'm offended by whoever these people are that they're trying to buy me out of.
Well, you should be honored.
What? You should be honored. What the?
He's making it really difficult for me not to Fed post.
Christ,
making it
man.
really difficult for me not to Fed post, chat. I haven't had to...
Every single one of these pieces of... evil. Pure evil.
Agree with most of that. I can't fully agree with all of it, but I completely agree with the sentiment.
I'm offended that there's people out there who just don't give about our country.
Do you understand though? You should be honored. That means they know how powerful you are.
She can't believe he's saying that.
Oh,
Lame
yeah,
on,
look, but
apparently.
look how powerful you are. You should be honored that they even think of you at all. Most of the
This
time, they would just
is the
see you as
guy.
a little ant, but you're like causing issue.
This is Lamon, a Arizona Republican who apparently is what was it exactly? Like, pissed off with her? He's swamp creature,
Water the
probably
tree.
swamp creature.
His blood would do well to water the tree, huh?
You can tell him
If
that.
you weren't powerful, they wouldn't want to have this conversation.
She is powerful, mate. One, she has demonstrated it by releasing this clip, and two, she is very popular and is going to get more popular because of this.
Well, that's what he said. It's like, oh, if she wasn't, they wouldn't have even offered her this thing,
Like,
right? Because that's
she would have won Arizona, I am very sure, if not for the rigging. That's how powerful she is. A newcomer to politics wins Arizona, only prevented through a massive rigging machine. That's why they want to get rid of her. If she wasn't powerful, they wouldn't be offering her millions to go away just for 2 years. That's worth knowing, though. We have, for one of the first times ever, data about our enemy's plan. 2 years. They don't mind if she comes back in 2 years. I mean, that's what they say. Most likely they would rat her out for taking the bribe. But that implies that they intend to do something big. They intend 2024 to be the final battle, which many of us already know it's going to be. They have a short-term plan. They don't mind what happens in 2 years. It's very concerning. I want to reiterate, I do think they're willing to go all the way to get rid of Trump. Be ready for that, chat.
Very few people get this.
I know. I'm pissed that they don't care more about our country. It's all about the mighty dollar to them. And that's offensive.
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
No, I don't think it's about the money. I think the money is a tool because it's about evil. However you want to spin it.
evil.
They want to get Trump so bad. They want him out so
It's not about
bad.
Trump. This isn't about Trump. It's about you. It's not about Trump.
I'm gonna.
It's about you. It's not about
Is she actually right now like recording a corrupt politician, later releasing it? She's already based, she's saying all the right things, everything she's doing right, and she's being modest at the same time. She couldn't do more, frankly. Like, it is partly about Trump. This one in particular is about her. And as I said, she knows she's being recorded because I think she is the person recording, which is so based. But still, like, very, very good stuff.
Some people that are in on this.
Listen, I can win. Why don't you go back and tell them that I can win, and why don't they get behind me?
I see these things through a different lens. It's very personal to you. This was you. This was your name on the ballot, and I get that. And it's a very personal thing.
Well, I have a appointment coming up, and I have to work on my book.
Yeah.
I'm not good. I appreciate their concern.
Just to say,
He's going for the upsell one more time.
Dude, this dude.
I can be bought.
not be bought.
That's what it's about.
You can take a pause for a couple of years.
No.
And then go right back to what you're doing.
Just a pause,
10 million, 20 million, 30, no. A billion, no. This is not about money. This is about our country. I think it's disturbing that they would that anybody would think this is.
No, to be fair, even me, I'll say this. I want a fresh face right now for the reason that I've never seen anyone, I can't think of a single person in a federal race who's lost, ran in and won. I can't think of it. If you can think of it, let me know.
I am not going to let these people who hate our country tell me not to run. You should call them and tell them to get behind me.
I mean,
I can
would say
win, and they
those
should
words.
get behind me.
I will happily say those words.
Yeah.
She, one thing though, if she knew she was being recorded, maybe she wouldn't have been swearing as much. That's a small indication that she may not have been the one recording. I still suspect she was, though.
I mean, she could just again be trying to act normal, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if she's not the one recording. Like, what did he? Unless he was expecting her to take the bribe and then release that and show that she took a
Mm.
bribe and then take her off.
Yeah, you
But
wouldn't do it this early.
he comes across so bad in it that I
Yeah,
don't think that's
absolutely.
what it was.
I mentioned it only as a minor mitigation, as Di says. Maybe she's just trying to appear normal. And yeah, in this private context, I'm sure she does swear more often. Given the severity of the issues at hand, chat, even if you find it distasteful, I'm sure you understand the reaction. I mean, what she's hearing right now, I suspect that she's deliberately underreacting to what she's hearing right now, but she's maybe just trying to contain her rage, her disbelief that this guy could say this, which, again, on top of everything else, she's showing incredible restraint to listen to what he's saying and to get it all recorded. On top of everything else, this is incredible work. Like, if she was just an investigative journalist doing this, that's still extremely based and courageous. Or if she was just a politician doing what she's done, that's extremely based and courageous. But she is
said they'd
both.
never do this.
There are still a few journalists left. But they're not working for the corporate press. James O'Keefe is one. And Kari Lake is another. Yes, Chilgorn, this has got to be several crimes. This is very clearly criminal. And she's calling for him to resign. This is like breaking. This is new information. She's calling for him to resign. I don't think there's any word on what he's saying yet. We're reading through the article as we'd go now. But if he does not resign, I'll be very surprised. And I very much hope and expect there will be criminal proceedings against him. This can't be ignored.
He's only a lackey, though.
Oh yeah, he is. But he's a lackey that they won't be able to use anymore once he's gone. And like he's not a low-level lackey. He's the guy in charge of Arizona's Republican Party. That's quite high up.
True. Yeah, that's true.
Yep, he needs to be gone.
Okay. Well, did you think you would come in here and that I would be bought?
It's not being bought.
Yes, it is.
I think.
It is being bought. No. They are trying to buy me out of running. It's actually, I mean, all right, I'm flattered. I'm offended. I'm offended for our country. We have people like this who live here.
What I think is this, is it can give you an incredible opportunity to have a bigger voice to fight for stuff than you currently do.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you just get bought, we'll push you up because we know that you we'll do what we want. And that, like, you're under our thumb, and
Yep.
It's just so disgusting.
I'm glad I had you on today, Ty.
Can't believe.
Yeah, this taints everything this guy's ever touched. This is very big news, chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna have to keep following this and see what happens with him.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with people like this. These people are un-American, and I think they're unethical, and I would be absolutely immoral if I did that.
Again.
That's immoral. I couldn't look at my eyes.
Again, like, yeah, but think of the money.
Yeah, but,
I couldn't look at myself in the mirror if I.
It's very powerful people that are willing to. They really want someone different. They want new names, whatever it is.
They do not get to make that decision.
It's just, the people, right? They're the ones at the top, they need new people and they're getting to decide who, that is. So if you just come under our umbrella and take this money and do what we say, you can be that new person because you're not going to do it on your own because we're going to make sure that doesn't happen.
This is the swamp. This is a real eye into the swamp. Obviously it extends far beyond the Republican Party, but this is a vulnerable point of the swamp that the MAGA movement can supplant. It's within grasp. Get rid of these people.
Mm-hmm. Yes, get rid of them.
No, actually, that's not even. That's a possibility, but they're even asking me like.
I know they've got all these new names, and I'm going to be.
Did he just imply that he might be the one to replace her?
Wait, go back a
It's hard to
little
go
bit?
back in this player, actually.
Different.
Ah.
It's very powerful people that are willing to. They really want someone different. They want new names, whatever it is.
So they want Jim Lehman. That's a new name.
No, actually, that's not even. That's a possibility. But they're even asking me like.
I know they've got all these new names, and
They
I'm
even
gonna
asked
beat you
me.
every one of them. Sorry, Jeff. Take it back. Take it back to them.
Oh,
I gotta get working.
I know.
I love you, but I gotta get working.
All right, I appreciate it.
I'm
So it's like they're familiar with each other. They're friendly. I suspect that that they've built up a rapport. That he's been pulling strings and speaking like a dirty car salesman to her for years. That this is the first time he committed grievous criminal acts, and so she leaked it.
It's interesting the way he was talking a lot of the time there too, because he was essentially the fact that he even said like, "Oh well, even if you don't take, just don't say anything, you
Mhm.
know, just you know."
Kaiser Holt says
Just,
plea deal, name names. If he names names and it leads to convictions, then he gets some time off jail.
It's a shame. It's like 1,000 years, and he only gets 50 off for renaming.
I mean,
them,
you
but,
don't tell him that in advance, though, Di. Like, you let him find
Yeah,
that
I know,
out.
I'm just-
You let him find that out
yeah.
later.
Yeah, of course, of course.
No, I think he deserves to go to prison for life. Rest of his life in a prison cell. Not a nice prison either. General population.
I'm just can't believe this.
Hey, again, be honored. Instead of them just.
Oh,
I would. Just be honored that they even like consider you a threat, like most of the time you would you're just a little cockroach, but like right now you're causing issues, so be honored that they're even offering you this little bit of money. It's a shame you've decided to not do it though, and we're gonna make sure your life's a living hell.
this is the thing that we have been nibbling at the edges at, suspecting is happening. Now it finally comes out. All these years we've been doing this politics stuff. This has been common. The people who think that nothing ever changes, that think democracy is a failure, that think we can never win, that think it's all hopeless and that Trump's going to be, that everything's going to come to shit and Trump's nothing, he's a waste of time, it's not going to make a difference. Coping and seething right now. The white pills are coming.
They're trying to, like.
This is about getting Trump out.
Nah,
Yeah, it is.
Trump never came on once.
Well, it's about DeSantis, getting DeSantis in. Getting DeSantis in is getting Trump out.
You're reading too deep into it.
Well, let's see what happens. Maybe my case will go through. Maybe they'll do the right thing.
I hope so.
I do too. That's my first goal.
I can tell you one thing, chat. No one's going to offer Kari Lake political bribe again. She burns herself as an investigative journalist when she does this. No one will ever say anything around her again that's risky. But that's why I think
But she got a good.
oh, she absolutely.
Doing this, she still got a good.
She reeled in a whopper with this one.
Yeah, she did. Even if everyone know, like if she's always wearing a wire and everyone's aware, like, and they're gonna be so careful, she's still got this. Because fuck you.
Pulled a crowd and got a big fish. Absolutely.
They can't have me in the governor's office because then we're going to root out some of this corruption.
But again, it's like.
You know what it is? The people don't get to choose their elected officials unless they're pre-approved by the swamp. And the swamp doesn't pre-approve of me.
You need a strong party to help.
I think you should go public with this and then say, hey,
no.
these people don't want to, they don't want,
And then I turn my key in my car and I go.
See? This is
Interesting. They know. They know. All of them know. We're right about all of this corruption. We may be giving them too much credit. It's exactly what the stereotype would predict.
It's like, of course I'm never going to go public. They'll kill me. Like, it's so corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
So corrupt.
And to think that
Like,
he's
such
there.
pathetic.
Yeah, exactly. She's a million times the man he is. He's there. He can see someone, Kari Lake, willing to stand up, part of a movement that's actually making a difference. And he's like, no, I kind of like the idea that I can be killed anytime if I do what I want. What a coward! Aside from everything else, he took a bribe and is owned by them now. No doubt whatsoever.
Listen, don't be putting this on the Irish guys just because he mentioned car bombs, all right? Like, please.
Tell them I'm not flattered. I'm
Nice.
offended that they.
Don't tell anybody we had this conversation.
I'm offended that they.
I love how throughout this she never
Don't tell anyone.
agrees. She never agrees not to tell anyone. It's so based.
don't care about our country more.
I actually wish you'd just give me a counter offer that's big. Give me a counter.
I can't be bought.
Another king upsell attempt. How many?
Just give me
Oh
a
my
counter offer.
God.
Just tell me how much. Just tell me how much you need. Just tell me, please. That's so I can go back and give them a price, and I won't like get my finger chopped off. Please, I beg you. Be honored, man.
All right, I'll see.
Okay, bye-bye. That they won, but I know they're feeling the heat. They're actually, we've got them in the frying pan right now. This is true. And I know, I'm going to tell you why. Now, I can't believe this actually happened, and I wasn't sure if I was going to share it here at CPAC. I wonder if the fake news will even cover this. Something happened to me this week before I left for CPAC, and it shows how desperate these people are to stop me and to silence you. I decided to share this. It's a little bit controversial, but I'm going to put this out. Somebody showed up at my door.
Oh,
this
so
week.
she
They
did
called me
share it.
before and
Okay.
said, I got to talk to you in person. This can't be done over the phone. Which is always kind of like, uh-oh, what's that going to be about? They came to my door and they tried to bribe me out of getting out of politics. It's really happened.
So I think she said this immediately after it happened. She's only released the audio recording recently. Now, I'm not sure why there would be that delay, but the fact that she told people about it at CPAC indicates she wasn't trying to hide it. There may have been a procedural reason, a legal reason why not to release it, but she has released it now. CPAC 2023 was only like a couple months ago, anyway, I think.
I'm telling you this because this is how disgusting politics is. A mom who runs for office and they're afraid of me.
Look at her not mentioning that she recorded them. She nailed them. She's keeping that under wraps. So, like, not just based, but smart as well.
They tried to bribe me with a job title, with a huge salary, a position on a board. This is how they do it. And I said, are you kidding me? I walked away from a big job and a big salary. I'm not motivated by that stuff, guys. I'm not. So this person standing before me was sent at the request of some powerful people back east. They want me out of politics. Well, wait a minute. I thought they already stopped us. Why are they so afraid? I thought they already stopped our movement. So, well, I don't know what the future holds. I don't know. I'm just on God's.
Oh man, she could never make a difference. She could never be a popular candidate. She's not. She's among a smaller audience. She's about as loved as Trump, to be honest. Matthias says Arizona is a one-party consent state for recording. So yeah, she's legally perfectly in her rights to do this.
Time right now. And when I said no to this person, they didn't take no for an answer. They said, well, what will it take? What is your price? How do we keep you out?
She never intonated to them that this person was the guy in charge of the entire Republican Party for the state of Arizona. Not some person, not a fixer, someone that she's barely heard of. No, the guy in charge. The only people above him are the literal core of the swamp in Washington. Jesus Christ.
Name your price. This really happened this week. Name your price. All we're asking for you to do is to get out of politics for 2 years. Okay. CPAC, I gotta ask you. Do you think I should sit out for 2 years? Should we put our movement on ice for 2 years? I didn't think so. Or should we double down and stay in this? Double down. Now, I'm going to be honest. At that very moment, I wanted to sick my dog on him.
Yes, we get the director's commentary on the recording. Yes, yes, that's what we were feeling as well, Kari. Absolutely.
But I have a pug, and it wasn't going to happen.
That was the noise in the background. That was the noise we were hearing in the background.
Okay, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you let your handlers back east know that I can't name a price because there is no price that I would sell out my country for.
She said this at CPAC, and I could forgive someone for thinking, maybe she's embellishing it. Chad King releases the audio to the public.
Yeah. Because I bet so many people were like, "Oh, this is just she's just trying to get people on her side," and then actively releases it.
I don't know. Maybe she was trying to dare them to call her a liar. Maybe someone did. Maybe. I don't know why she delayed, but I'm willing to trust that she had a good reason.
Not $1 million, not $10 million, not $100 million. I love you right back.
Absolute Metro Man energy based.
But I'll tell you, this tells me that they do not want my name on a ballot again. And I have a message. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes, very based. She delayed to maximize the impact on the election. That could be it, Field. If so, I'm fine with that. It's a perfectly good reason. When asked if he should now resign, she said, I believe he should, and she's putting it lightly. DeWitt and his office have not responded to multiple requests for comment. Oh, they must be shaking right now. But local party officials have demanded he leave his post. Absolutely. I don't think he can avoid that. He's getting kicked out, and I very much hope he gets prosecuted. Lake had previously discussed the extraordinary effort to keep her out of the race, but never revealed who was behind it. On Monday, Arizona talk show host Garrett Lewis named DeWitt, who was elected chairman of the party in January last year. Audio obtained by DailyMail.com revealed how he made his offer at her home in early March. I didn't know it was at her home. This is him on the left, next to Trump. So he was part of Trump's team. As I say, like, how are you supposed to know that he's dirty? Unless you get a recording like this. I can not really blame Trump for unintentionally surrounding himself with swamp creatures. He didn't know.
Scum, yeah.
It's very hard. It's going to be very hard to tell. This is what
they do.
And he had to find people that know the playing field as well. So a lot of people, I think, are too harsh on him for that, from what happened in 2016. And the amount of good things he got done with shitty advisors, mostly like this, is still very impressive. So, but I think he knows a lot more now. He knows more people. There are more people in the game. He'll be twice as good, most likely, when he gets back in this time. I want to know about the Senate things. I don't know exactly what she's doing Senate-wise. In October, she announced her run. At the time of the conversation, Lake was publicly mulling a run for the US Senate, and the episode reveals the tensions triggered after she refused to accept defeat in the 2022 Arizona governor race. She emerged as a national figure, becoming a regular on Fox News as she echoed Trump's election denialism, says the Daily Mail. So unfortunately, Daily Mail is still cucked on this. Well, I mean, calling it denialism doesn't necessarily mean they're saying it's not true, but it strongly implies it. So yeah. Kari Lake is aware of the truth on the. So is the guy who was in this video, by the way. That put.
They're
her
not going to mention that because you know they don't want to. They don't want to actually like acknowledge what she said. She said fake news won't even cover it. Probably.
This is such a huge story. The press cannot avoid covering it, but they're still going to try to put their spin on it. There hasn't been too much spin in this, so Daily Mail is not the worst for that. They put her at odds with the more traditional wing of the Republican Party, who feared the more corrupt wing. We can say that now. It could before, to be honest, who feared a new breed of Trump loyalist may alienate big donors. I don't think the big donors are who you want to chase, to be honest. In October, she announced her run, so for Senate. I think that's for federal Senate, not just for Arizona Senate. Her being a senator would be good. It's not maybe not as good as Arizona governor, but still good. What a hell of a story this one was, chat.
We already knew it was bad, but like it's great to see it confirmed in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. This is probably happening everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
This marks a new era of the culture war, as far as I'm concerned. We will follow this one. We will follow
Mhm.
the process from him being in charge of the Arizona Republican Party to him being locked in a deep, dark prison cell for the rest of his life.
And a
Hopefully.
whole,
Yeah.
just like the cartel he mentioned, it'll be the government doing it. Or not the government, but the court system, if it works.
Kaiser says they aren't letting him live to eat them out. Rat. Okay. I'm glad you clarified that. Yeah, DeWitt may suddenly die in the near future. It would be very blatant if that happened, but the recording is so blatant already that the swamp, the establishment right now, are probably panicking in closed rooms.
Yeah, how much? Maybe we should start going through all of the people in DC that keep being mentioned as corrupt over and over and over and over again. But of course, we're not going to do that.
Chat. Jeff DeWitt did not kill himself.